Hi, welcome to another episode of Mom Does It All. If you're looking for encouragement, empowerment, and uplifting in motherhood and mompreneurship, this is the show for you. I'm your host, martaspirk, triplet mom, woman empowerment coach, and all things motivation extraordinaire. In this episode, I want to ask you, what if you learned to really enjoy life instead of pretending that you do? I want to share an experience that I had recently that made me realize I have been practicing self-love and it just feels so good. Let's get right to it. So technically today I was supposed to release an interview because I've been alternating interviews and solo episodes ever since I went back to one episode a week. But yesterday when I was thinking about editing one of the many interviews that I have backed up, since I decided to start going back to one episode a week, I have several interviews that I've already recorded that are just waiting for me to edit and publish. And I still have people messaging me wanting to be on the show. And I have to tell them I need to wait a little bit because I already have several interviews lined up. I couldn't think of any interview that I wanted to publish today. And I wasn't sure what I was going to do. And then I realized I just need to share what's in my heart because especially as I've been on this journey of learning to listen to myself and pay closer attention to myself, I feel like more than ever, I should just follow my intuition and do what's in my heart. Because even when I was doing 2 episodes a week, my solo episodes were based on what I was feeling that week or what had happened recently. And with having only 1 episode a week, I can't do that with the weeks that I release the interviews. But anyways, long story short, I decided to do this because I wanted to share what's in my heart. Something happened over the weekend that I'm actually going to be posting about it on social media, but I wanted to explain more what's in my head because I have loved these reflections. The last week, I really submerged myself in some serious personal development. I decided to start listening to personal development in audiobooks, which I had tried before, like doing stuff around the house, but I didn't think it was helpful. And I have the hardest time finishing the books that I buy and start reading, whether it be ebooks or like the digital format or just actual physical books. And so when my current coach and mentor suggested a book for me to read, I was like, you know what? I need to commit to this, so I will just do it on Audible because I drive a lot around town with my interpreting jobs. Sometimes I'm in the car for half an hour at a time, which if you're listening to a book that's like 6 hours total, you do that for a few days, then you finish the book, which is what I did. Last week I started the book, I'm a Badass at Making Money, on Monday, and I'm done with it. I finished all 13 chapters, but I intend to listen to it again. And I've loved it. I've loved just taking that time for myself to connect with myself because this is what I try to do with my morning routine, with my meditations and everything. And a lot of the stuff got stirred up because of doing some intense personal development, listening to this book. And there were a couple things that happened on the weekend that just put the icing on the cake for an amazing week of development for myself. And so first things first, I went to an amazing concert on Friday. It was Kane Brown and Jason Aldean, so country, with my good friend, my good triplet mom friend, Nicole. And it was amazing, and I actually really enjoyed Kane Brown, even more so than Jason Aldean, which, I mean, both are amazing, but I've been listening a lot to Kane Brown on the radio. And one of his songs is like my favorite right now, which is called Heaven. And he talks about, and again, this is what I've been doing in my school, reanalyzing lyrics that are meant to be sung to somebody else and start thinking about that in the context of self-love and singing that song to me. And so the Heaven song says, everybody's talking about heaven like they just can't wait to go. Like it's going to be so good, so beautiful. And he says, but lying here next to you, I am convinced that heaven can't be better than this, that this is it. And he even says, I keep thinking, what did I do right to deserve you? And thinking about singing this to me just brought a lot of memories, and of feelings and thoughts of how we look forward to a certain day when we're going to be something else, or when we're going to have something else or do something else for us to feel happy. Or even the idea of heaven, regardless of your religious beliefs. Usually there is this idea that there's something else afterlife, the afterlife is going to be better than what we're living here. And I know that regardless of our beliefs, just the concept of thinking that life will be better after death kind of gives us this pass for not living our best life right now, because it's okay. Once I die, it'll be better. And how this is really a way of deceiving ourselves into thinking that we can settle for a crappy life. And I don't want to just pretend that I'm enjoying my life. I really want to learn how to enjoy my life. And this goes back to gratitude. It goes back to me sharing my life and my progression on social media for the last 3 years. And how now I know that me sharing my journey has been a way of keeping myself accountable to constantly improving and finding that missing piece for myself, and really finding myself and loving and accepting myself. And the greatest thing about this is that I am not that shy introverted girl that is now learning to be confident. And so I'm sharing this and encouraging women to say, see, if you have always been insecure, there is hope, because I am more confident in myself right now. This is not my story. My story is of a girl that has been extroverted, that has loved the spotlight since the beginning, that I just love being put in uncomfortable positions and challenging myself. But still, in this process, I have found that I didn't know or love me. And one thing that made this whole process really clear for me this weekend was that my sister, we went to a little kid's birthday party on Saturday, in the city where my sister lives, with another Brazilian mom. And while we were there, I was playing with the kids on the floor, and my sister took some pictures of us. And when I saw a picture of me smiling really, really big, just really being me, not worrying if someone was taking a picture and trying to pose, I was just being myself because I was in the moment playing with the kids, and I laughed really, really big. I smiled really big, and she took that picture. And when she sent me that picture and I saw that, I instantly thought, wow, I look pretty and I look happy. And right in that moment, I remembered a picture of me that is in my wedding album from almost 10 years ago. And I remember when I saw that picture, I thought, I shouldn't have smiled that big. I look ugly. I wish they would have picked a different picture, or I wish that picture wasn't even taken, or I wish I would have been more mindful that they were taking pictures of me at that time and not smiled that big. And when I remember that, because I remember that moment really clearly of me looking at that and thinking that, and then just shrugging it off and being like, whatever, it's just what I look like, and that's okay. I started thinking, like, what happened in the last 10 years that made me feel differently about myself? Because I don't look that different. And I'm going to post this on social media and you can compare the two pictures. I don't look that different. If anything, I'm older now, 10 years older. But I've been dedicating the last 3 years to doing this personal development, to really understanding what it takes and what it feels like, and, what I can do to love and believe in myself and what that even means. But I wasn't sure if there was a way to gauge or to even prove or put my finger on the fact that I was learning to love and accept myself. I mean, I've been working hard to do that, but I didn't know if there was a point that was going to be for sure the proof, the real evidence of, okay, I'm on the right track. I really am starting to love and accept myself more. And when I looked at that picture and I remembered the other picture, I was just overwhelmed with emotion just thinking about this, because of everything else that had happened, last week with me listening to that book on Audible, and then going to that concert and just, screaming that song to the top of my lungs, but again, singing it to myself and thinking, for so long, I spent all these years trying to find what is wrong with me. that I can't be what I want to be, that I can't do what I want to do, that I haven't been able to have what I still want to have. And instead, I should have been focusing on what is right with me, which means accepting what I already am and just loving what I already am. Not worrying that when someone's taking a picture of me, if I'm going to look good in that picture or not, because there is no way that I can look bad, if that makes sense, because that's just me. That is me. So the whole idea of me looking at myself and having that criticism and just finding things that are wrong with me instead of immediately finding what's right with me is what I know had been keeping me from really enjoying life versus pretending that I'm enjoying my life. Because it is a contradiction when you think, how am I going to strive to be better for the future and envision a better future for myself and at the same time enjoy where I'm at right now? It seems truly impossible. But it really is the only way that you can achieve and reach more is when you learn to look at yourself with different eyes right now. And it's not all about, the rose-colored glasses and just ignoring problems, ignoring the areas that you still need to improve on. But it's just, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just really accepting who you are and loving who you are right now and understanding that all you have really is right now. So that's why you better learn to love and enjoy right now because it's all you have. And that's going to open the doors for the future. And another thing too is that in this process, I was actually listening to some podcast episodes too. And one of the podcast episodes, which is called Mind Your Business. So it's more focused on business, but it's very much, focused on mindset and everything. And the host, which is a man, he was talking about the law of attraction and manifestation. And he was saying, some people are making the law of attraction harder than it really is because just like any other law, and I've talked about this in other episodes too, it's not something that you need to really make an effort for it to happen. It's just becoming more aware because just like the law of gravity, you don't choose not to use the law of gravity. It's just there. It's going to happen whether you want to or not. And the law of attraction is the same thing. Some people might say, I think I manifested this. And the reality is that your entire life is a manifestation of who you are. Everything that you have in your life right now, everything that you are, is a result of your decisions. But instead of you being mad at what you've decided in the past, and that's why you are where you are right now, you can choose to be happy and grateful for all the things that you already accomplished and attracted to yourself. So instead of looking at the bad things, you can look at the good things. So I can look at my kids, I can look at the house that we live in, I can look at the car that I have, and it's just, again, seems so basic and cliche, gratitude, but it really adds a different perspective in your life that is so freeing once you realize that it really is a choice for you to look around yourself and count your blessings, literally. And you can only learn how to do that more effortlessly and not have it be so annoying that you have to write 5 things you're grateful for every day. Once you learn to love yourself, because then you understand, I'm the one responsible for all the amazing things in my life. That's pretty awesome. Which means I can be responsible and I will be responsible for the future amazing things in my life if I choose to be more intentional this time around. Maybe I wasn't very intentional up until this point, but look what I've accomplished. So look what you have right now that is amazing, and you weren't even being that intentional. What could happen for you if you really started loving yourself and being more intentional for the future? And this is just what I wanted to share with you today. I want to challenge you to start looking at yourself differently. When you look in the mirror, when you see yourself in pictures, this has been really, really strong within me right now because I've always been very critical of myself, looking at myself in pictures. And again, what I find so interesting about this is that it's not that I am in that introverted girl that has had severe, body image issues, which I know that I had, but it wasn't something that kept me from wearing different clothes or getting pictures taken or going places or being in front of people. I've always had that confidence, but in reality, I didn't really love myself and accepted myself because I had that inner criticism. Whereas some people prevent themselves from doing certain things because they don't look a certain way that they want to look. I never let that stop me from doing things, but now as I am digging deeper into myself, I am realizing that I have still been stopping me from more because I still had that criticism and that ugly way of looking at myself. And now I see that the sky really isn't even the limit for me once I truly, truly learn to love and accept myself, and I'm at the threshold of that, because look at everything that I have had in my life up until this point, and I wasn't aware of all of this. I wasn't making a conscious effort of looking at what's right in me instead of looking at what's wrong. Now that I know all of this, I am just sitting here waiting for the amazing things that are about to happen because I know I have literally opened up the doors for abundance in all areas of my life and prosperity to reach me because I have started this process of loving myself. And this is exactly what I've been teaching in my school. This is why I'm so passionate about this school, because it's literally me sharing my journey and being a couple steps ahead of these women that are just starting this right now and telling them, just come with me because it just gets better and better and better and better. And the other thing too that I wanted to say and how I know I'm going to be spreading this love of this message of self-love forever and ever and ever and more and more and more and reaching more and more people is with the self-love tanks that I developed with the Tea Studio shop. And I am so excited to say that we've had several purchases already. On day one, we had quite a few, and then it kept growing and growing. And I decided to do a giveaway. So you have to purchase at least one tank, and then you're going to be entered in a drawing to receive a $30 gift card to spend as you wish, but you could spend it at the Tea Studio and get a couple more tanks, maybe gift it to some friends, and start planting these seeds in yourself and in other women that you know, helping them see that they are amazing as they are, helping them see what's right in them, what's beautiful about them, instead of being so critical of themselves, how we always tend to be. So you have until August 1st for free shipping and also 15% off using code MARTA to buy at least one tank. And once your name is in there with the orders, you're going to be entered in a drawing to be able to buy at least 2 more tanks with the $30 gift card. And this is just my gift to you because I'm so passionate about this message and I want to spread this however way I can, through my school, through social media, through this podcast, and now through the tanks, that my heart are in each and every one of those tanks for the designs that I created to help women really, really try to embrace themselves. And this is something that I want to talk about in a separate episode eventually. But everything that I'm doing, I don't mean to be political. I don't even consider what I'm doing feminist or anything in that sense, because everything that I'm doing is not meant to exclude men or to create some kind of negative relationship toward men. This is all about you and you. I'm not considering anybody else in this situation. It's just you looking at you and nobody else, not putting blame on anybody else, your kids, your husband, your mom, your dad, anybody in your past. It's about you really, really reconnecting with you and your essence, the essence that you had when you were just a kid that got shoved down and stuffed down with life and with trauma and with whatever you've experienced in your life. It's just really an invitation for you to look at yourself, because this is what I have chosen to do. And it has been an amazing experience. And I want you to go through it too and come out on the other side truly loving yourself. And this can only bring good to everyone around you. Whether it is, your spouse or your kids or anyone that comes in contact with you, they're going to get a little taste of the light that's within you. But first you need to know how to let it shine. And to let it shine, you have to look at it, right? You have to look at it and cultivate it so that it'll shine brighter and brighter. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really hope that this encouraged you to start paying closer attention to how you feel and think about yourself and start making changes. Connect with me and let me know about your self-love experiences. I would love to hear your stories. And don't forget to get your self-love tank at the Tea Studio shop by August 1st to get free shipping and 15% off using code MARTA. And you'll also be entered in the drawing for my giveaway. The winner will be announced August 2nd. Until next time, bye.